And good evening. My name's David, and this is a play of The Between. This is session 8, 7 or 8, I think 8, in our run. As ever, if this is the first one you're watching, then I would suggest going back to the beginning so you have a better idea of what's going on. But regardless, this is a run of The Between by Jason Cordova, which is a PBTA game of Gothic monster hunters in Victorian London, looking at their investigations into the weird and dangerous supernatural side of London in the reign of Victoria. This game was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is an online role-playing group. We meet up online for games like this one. We have a calendar where you can sign up for slots in games as they go up. We also have a number of podcasts. We have a game magazine called Codex. We release other games like, in fact, this very one that we're playing tonight. So if any of that stuff interests you, you can check out the website at gauntlet-rpg.com. I'll put a link to that down below. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be doing tonight. So we'll just kick off as we usually do with just a quick introduction of characters, recap of sort of what happened last time, any outstanding conditions that you may have. So I will keep with tradition and start with yourself, David, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I am David. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing the American playbook, Trixie Beatrice Farley. She is a kind of gun-slinging cowboy with a dark past from out west. And I am, as of the beginning of this session, still ensorcelled by the siren song that has been haunting Cremorne Gardens for the last couple of days.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Yeah, Sabine, if you'd like to tell us a bit about who you're playing tonight.
Hi, I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns. I'm playing Dr. John Fenwick, who uses he, him pronouns. Dr. John Fenwick has the conditions most beloved, and he's also obsessed. And I think that obsessed refers to the hands of that pianist he saw at that party. Is that correct? Or was that something to do with our host?
No, I believe that was correct. I think it was the hands in particular.
Oh, yeah,
that
well,
have kind of
hands.
have you distracted them in it? Yeah.
So, yeah.
Brilliant. Wow. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Anders, if you'd like to tell us a bit about your whole situation.
Yeah, I am playing Ardent Casebury, the vessel, who he consorts with the dark forces in various ways. He is currently lured by the dark, which he has been since we encountered a vampire a few sessions back, and he is also rattled after meeting our devious mastermind, Lord Falkenberg, and he took a bath recently, more or less.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah. So just as a quick reminder of where we were last time, last session we had Lord Falkenberg, our resident mastermind, had thrown an art exhibition amongst the Bohemian quarters of Cheyne Walk by Cremorne Gardens in Chelsea. He had a number of things went on there. Trixie managed to learn a bit more about the mysterious goings on at Cremorne Gardens during some conversation with the artist James Whistler, a fellow American. Dr. Fenworth, as mentioned, found a pianist whose hands were particularly appealing. And had a bit more of an in-depth talk with Lord Falkenberg over some of his artworks. Mr. Casebury met the Italian Strega, Alessandra Volpe, had a conversation with her, and then later on was lured in by the song of the siren, and attempted to wade out into the Thames before being rescued by Trixie. So that was sort of our extended night phase last time. We did, I believe we got the dawn phase stuff all sorted as well. So we'll be coming in today with the day phase, and we'll be introducing a new threat tonight. As one of the preceding threats was retired. Yes, that's the other major thing that happened last time was St. James's Street ghost appears to have been somehow captured along with other ghosts in some sort of ritual performed by Alessandra Volpe on behalf of Lord Falkenberg. The exact ramifications of that have yet to make themselves known, but that's kind of what happened. So to catch up, before I introduce new ones, just a quick overview on the Creature of Cremorne Gardens. In fact, I will just put a line through that one. Last time you answered the first question of the Creature of Cremorne Gardens, though the roll itself actually failed. Because it was a kind of yes/no answer, it was whether the creature was real or a hoax. You tried to answer that it was a hoax, but it turns out that it's actually real. There's one question remaining on the Creature of Cremorne Gardens that's available to you, which is if it is real, what does a creature want? Which you can. Once you've answered that, you can resolve the threat by luring it to you and then destroying it or convincing it to go back to wherever it came from. You have a decent number of clues towards that, so potentially that's something you might want to look at wrapping up today. The other threat that we have currently active is Sally No Face. This is the trail of a killer who has been killing people and removing their faces. And there are 3 questions available for this one. All 3 of these offer a way to resolve the threat, but to do so basically in different ways. So the questions are, where is the killer hiding? Which is only a complexity 4, and that will allow you to infiltrate the killer's lair and destroy or capture them. Complexity 6 for how is the killer choosing their victims, and for that you can resolve the threat by luring the killer to you and either capturing or destroying them. And then the 3rd question is, what is the true identity of the killer and what drove them to this madness, which allows you to resolve the threat by empathizing with the killer and bringing them in peacefully. Currently, you still only have the 2 initial clues that you've that Dr. Fenworth found in their initial investigation of the body of Clara Yarborough, the most recent victim of the Sally No Face killer. So those are our kind of active threats. I will in one moment be bringing in our new threat. There's just one minor scene I wanted to do first. Mr. Casebury, while you are asleep and dreaming, whatever you were dreaming about a moment before disappears, and you find yourself inside a tent by the feel of it, or certainly like surrounded by cloth curtains, something like that. And a boy walks into the room, He is dressed in kind of flowing silky clothes. His face is sort of painted with strange sigils, and perhaps most unusually, he has 3 eyes, a third eye sitting in his forehead, which peers out unblinking towards you, even as his others. Act more normally. He will say, I've been trying to talk to you for so long, but you wouldn't let me in. But I see that you've finally been able to listen. Good. Oh, you're already too late for the lady. But you must come to see me.
Come see you where? Who are you? What is this?
You should already know all of that. I can't tell you if you don't already know, but you need to find me. The lady's already dead. You were too late for her, but perhaps if you get here soon, you can stop anymore.
What lady? Well, I don't understand.
She used to dance. She knew all the dances. She was very clever.
Was one of the... Did we have a victim who was a dancer?
Not that you're aware of, no.
Oh, I misremembered. I thought it was... Yeah, sorry. Where do I need to go? What path do I follow?
You were so close last night, but I couldn't reach you, not while you were still awake. But I can see that your eye is open now as well. Oh.
Last night at the exhibition, or after?
Yes, last night. Oh, also, and this is very important, you must bring some aniseed balls.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
He says, you must bring some aniseed balls.
Aniseed balls. But I still don't know where to go.
And I think with that, you will wake up. With that strangeness aside, I'll introduce our new threat. So the next one we're going to do is the St. Petersburg Mirror. Edwin Belmont is an assistant private secretary in the civil service, assigned to the India office in Whitehall. He has recently been approached by a blackmail gang demanding sensitive information on British plans for Afghanistan. Edwin is aware of other recent leaks and fears he is not the only target of these blackmailers. Insisting that he has been diligent in his own personal security, the only thing out of the ordinary he has done recently was visit the renowned medium, Madame Sorokin, who impressed him as surprisingly insightful. Wanting to avoid the scrutiny of his peers in the India office, and knowing the occult is their area of expertise, he has made contact with Hargrave House, to ask for assistance in determining if Madame Sorokin is linked to the blackmail ring. In particular, he is concerned by rumours that she has recently received the St. Petersburg mirror, a supposed scrying device of considerable power, as a gift from the cultural attaché to the Russian embassy. Madame Sorokin has a parlour in the East End, and she's also supposed to be holding a séance at the house of the widowed Lady Cadwallader with several notables in attendance. So, and sorry to put this, get straight back onto you again, Ardent, but you seem the most appropriate person to come to on this one. What seemingly innocuous social engagement does Edwin meet you at to make contact with Hargrave House? And why do you trust his instinct about Madame Sorokin?
Ooh. I think we're having, I don't know, like having tea at some tea house, like with I don't know the British terms. I want to say high tea, but I'm not sure exactly what that entails. But I think that's the fancier with a little tiered. So I think it's like a social occasion just for a certain group of people. So it's a social circle, but also some of us have other interests.
Excellent. And yeah, why do you trust his instinct that Madame Sorokin might be up to something?
I think I know he has a very good read on people. Ardent doesn't know if this is something supernatural or if he's just naturally talented. But if he is certain that someone is going to do something or behave in a certain manner or that sort of thing, then I have never known him to be wrong.
Cool. Well, I like that. Thank you. I'll introduce the questions and opportunities that you have available to you. The first question is what trickery and deceit does Madame Sorokin deploy in order to dupe those who come to her parlour? And this will allow you to resolve the threat by exposing Madame Sorokin as a fraud and discrediting her in the public eye, reducing the risk that she'll be able to find further victims. Second question. That's complexity 4. The second question is, who is truly behind the blackmail ring, and how are they using Madame Sorokin as a pawn in their game? Which is complexity 4 as well. And that you can that will allow you to resolve the threat by dealing with the power behind Madame Sorokin. And if Hargrave House feel Madame Sorokin is useful, they may be able to recruit her to their cause. The third question is, how do you know that not only is Madame Sorokin a true psychic, but currently is only using a small portion of her potential? And given time, what could she achieve? That's complexity 6. And answering that question will allow you to resolve the threat by bringing Madame Sorokin under control, whether through force, magic, or reason. Approach carefully. She could be an asset, but she might be too dangerous to handle. So those 3 questions are all obviously to do with resolving the threat. There is one fourth question, which is the St. Petersburg mirror genuine? And that is complexity 2. And basically the opportunity that gives you is that if that mirror is genuine, then if you're able to get your hands on it, you will be able to take that as a reward at the end of the threat. It's cool. So that is our current our new threat. So I'll just enter those details into the keeper. If you want to be taking a moment to just think about what you might want to get up to in our day phase today.
I was trying to think about this strategically for once, and it seems like we have a fair number of clues for the creature, so we should be we're fairly close to being able to answer another question there, and if we want to go for a low complexity question on Sally No Face, we're fairly close there as well. But I don't know. I feel like we should be able to make decent progress toward resolving one or the other if we want to.
Yeah, I was wondering with Sally No Face, I was taking a look at the questions and opportunities bit, and are these all kind of mutually exclusive? Like you either take the complexity 4 or the 6 or the 8?
Essentially, yes. You could, in theory, answer more than one if you wanted to, which would give you multiple ways of resolving it. But there's essentially no benefit to doing so. You know, if it's something that's of personal interest to you to answer more than one, that's cool. But yeah, there's essentially no reason to answer more than one of them.
Got it. Yeah, so I mean, I think going off of what you said, Anders, I think there's no reason why we couldn't tackle the creature tonight. I think we have 4 clues on it. If we got one more, that would make me feel a little bit better about rolling for it, but otherwise it's about 50-50.
I think we only got 3 though, right? Because the other 6 are marked and 3 are unmarked. So
but we have one.
Oh, right. I saw the this one. Yeah. Okay. So we got 4, but yeah, what you said, rolling flat is kind of risky.
Yeah. I'd like 1 or 2 more as well.
We had 11 total when we took out the Limehouse Lurker, and we have 10 for the Gardens. So I think maybe at least 1 more is fair. And I'm okay with kind of doing a faster route on Sally No Face. Maybe one of the 4, maybe 6.
I'm really interested in this one though. I mean, John personally feels some personal interest in this one. So I'm fine with going it alone, but I really would like that we not just find the killer and destroy them. I'd like to at least figure out why they're doing that. Right?
That's understandable.
Yeah,
because
given they also take body parts from people, if I recall.
Absolutely, and I'm not pushing for resolving both of them. I just figure we could we should be able to set up resolving one of them at least.
I mean, you could go for the mirror thing if you're so interested.
Yeah, but then I feel
as a
like
player, I am totally interested in that too.
Yeah, but we built up a fair bit on the other 2, so I figure we should try to solve one of them.
I mean, once we've solved one of them, we get another one. So it's not.
Yeah, but at least then they're not taken over by the mastermind like the ghost was.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, you can. I would love to see you go for the coven, actually, because you've got a mask that would introduce the coven as the next free threat.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll see. I picked the cosmic passage now, so we'll see. Maybe they might be next. But as for specific actions today, I think I would like to do something to do with the creature. since that was a fairly important part for me last session.
Yeah, I think that during the day phase, I will prioritize getting another clue for the creature, just so we have a good setup going into night, or at least an okay setup going into night.
Yeah, and speaking of playing strategically, we have a fair number of conditions. So setting up a scene where we can do the vulnerable move would be useful as well.
I agree. Absolutely. I think the both of you have 2 conditions on, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I also want to have a scene with the pianist and maybe see if I can acquire something of this.
Yeah, we were. Did we invite him, or we were supposed to at least? I don't remember.
I did invite him. Yes,
Yeah.
I did invite him to come by and play for us. And I think Trixie said that she would try to get him drunk, because she might have sensed that I had some ulterior motives with that, because he wasn't that good a piano player.
I'm just still having I'm still riding my high from last night. That was a good time. River rescue aside.
I mean, you were the one doing the rescue, so you got to feel good about that. A little, at least a little.
I imagine that I made some reference to Ardent about how I haven't seen that kind of tumble into the river since back when we were crossing the Snake River out in Wyoming country some half-decade ago. We had hired a bunch of Native Americans to get us across, but we weren't expecting the salmon run to come up so quick. just like talking about it aimlessly, and it's not entirely clear if Trixie is embellishing any part of the truth or not.
Yes, that sounds like something out of a fairy tale almost. But I suppose the colonies is the land of stories and wonder these days.
Oh, they're made out to be something, and it's not that they're not, it's just that they're more than that.
I see.
Awesome. So yeah, awesome. So so I think we've definitely got some interest in investigating the Creature of Cremorne Gardens a little more, in maybe having a vulnerable scene between 2 of you, or between combinations of you, perhaps, and Dr. Fenworth would like to get their hands on some hands, I guess. So yeah. So I guess who's interested in a vulnerable scene, and what do you think we'll see you up to?
I might be interested in a vulnerable, you know what I mean, scene thingy. Speaking English is not my forte right now.
I was thinking maybe when the pianist comes around that we could have coffee while listening to the music, but maybe we're doing that later. In that case, it doesn't quite fit.
I don't. Yeah, maybe we could do that later in the phase. Sure. I don't know. We could just start out with having morning coffee and talking about our emotional thingies that we don't talk about because A, we're men, and B, we're British, right? But we can refer to things obliquely. I think that we can do that.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I'd be up for that.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, let's have morning coffee then. I imagine that when you come down, John is already at the coffee, almost seems like, has he slept? He doesn't look really tired, but he's a bit, you know, this kind of feverish energy you have when you've drunk too much, when you've had too much coffee. That he has that vibe a bit. And he keeps moving stuff around, like the place with the precisely placed, but takes his cup up, sets it down, takes it up, sets it down, puts it to his mouth, and then sets it down again, like that.
Yeah, and I think Ardent is usually when he doesn't leave his room without being like properly dressed. Like he's careful about his appearance that way, but today he is a bit disheveled and he doesn't seem to notice. He's just pulled on a shirt and some pants and I don't know, smoking jacket maybe. He's not his usual dapper self. Dr. Fenworth, I see you're up already, or what time is it? I'm not.
Oh, the sun has already risen. I'm fairly sure of that. There's a bit of mist out there, but not a lot. And it's getting lighter anyway, so I think it's time for coffee. Oh, there's a cat.
Yes, some coffee that might help. I had the damnedest dream. Very strange. I feel like there is something I need to do, someplace I need to go, but I don't know where it is. It's most confusing.
Well, these dreams, they stem from, I think, from some part of your brain. It would be really interesting to watch a brain while it is dreaming, don't you think? What is it doing? What is it connecting to? Now, you know, I don't hold much with the supernatural, but I feel that there's more of an explanation there, but what dreams are and where they come from.
Well, you know, my thoughts on the matter.
Yes, I do.
But yes, did you experience anything strange last night at the exhibition?
Well, I did. Strange. I mean, it was the art of our host was very fascinating. Some might view it as strange, yes. Was very much, it felt like it was something so alive, more than art had any right to be.
Yes, that may be it. I encountered a woman there, very strange. I don't know. I don't know what her connection is to our host of the evening, but if she's involved with him, then perhaps I had better stay away from her. He was very intense, a very intense man.
Yes, I thought so too. He was very fascinating.
Well, that's one word for it, I suppose.
There is this sublime feeling of power that comes off him that I find very intriguing, might be the word.
I detected the same aura, but my reaction was quite the opposite, I must admit. felt that he was perhaps more menacing than intriguing.
I am afraid I did not catch that, but as I was half looking at his pictures and less at his mien and aspect, I'm afraid. Oh, did you hear the pianist last night?
Oh, I recall hearing music. Yes, piano.
Oh yes, I invited him to Hargrave House to play a little recital for us. I must admit that he was not a terribly good pianist. He missed the C flat on the second movement, and did such a disservice to Bach, really. But he had the most lovely hands, and that counts for something, doesn't it?
I suppose so, though I don't quite see the value in a pianist with beautiful hands that he doesn't know how to use.
Yes, that is true. That is very true, Mr. Caseberry. My sentiment exactly. But still, maybe he'll shape up. Who knows?
Yes, he will certainly play better than I.
Do you play?
More than,
Do you play, Mr. Caseberry?
my mother wanted me to learn when I was young, but I never had the coordination for it.
No.
My left hand doesn't know what the right is doing.
Oh. Oh well, we are all born with different talents, aren't we?
I suppose. I think. Thank you so much for the coffee, but I think I need to go see about some aniseed balls. I'll see you later.
Very well. Have a good day, Mr. Caseberry.
You as well.
Thank you.
Excellent. So yeah, you may both clear an appropriate condition.
I think I would clear obsessed because Mr. Caseberry's words made the path very much more clearer for me.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, perhaps. I think I want to keep rattled, so I'll remove Lured by the Dark. I think also this dream encounter has set Ardent on a new path, sort of. So he's leaving the dark thoughts from the vampire and the ghost behind him, and trying to move forward.
Sure thing. So yeah, excuse me. Dr. Fenworth, you, as you were indulging in your vice, you may choose to either invite Ardent to ask you a question about your past, or come up with a clue for any of our currently active threats, and detail that out as you wish.
I think I'll have a clue for Sally No Face in this case, because this we talked about physical perfection, didn't we? And I think that might tie into what the killer is looking for, the perfection, the perfect face. And
awesome.
that they keep on killing because they haven't found it yet, maybe.
Yeah, awesome. I like that. Trixie, I'm going to come around to you. What do you want to get up to first today?
I would like to use my move, as cruel as the harlot's curse.
Sure thing.
And I think that I am going to one last time try to get down to that American bowling saloon down at the Gardens and virtually penniless try to drown my anxieties and uncertainties about this siren thing that nearly took my friend last night. And if all goes well, hopefully I'll be able to pick up the clue that breaks the whole case wide open. Maybe, maybe not.
Awesome. So the first thing you will notice when you get to Cremorne Gardens today is that the place seems to be closed down at the minute, which is unusual for the time of day. So you aren't able to go in directly. You weren't just able to like walk in and start playing a game of cards or anything at the moment. But there's obviously two approaches you can take here. Either if you want to try and sort of have a look around there, regardless, you can. But also you will notice that there is kind of at one of the coffee houses by the on Cheney Walk by the Gardens. There are a number of people who look like they are likely to work at Cremorne Gardens, who are sort of sat around, drinking coffee. And I think a few of them have got like a pack of cards out and they're just playing for kind of like, probably just for sort of penny stakes kind of thing, that they're sort of playing some hands of cards and clearly like kind of gossiping and the like.
I think that I'd like to get involved with this penny stakes game, but I'm going to throw them off their game a little bit because I'm going to bet kind of the farm on this game. I think that Trixie is not completely in her right mind after the events of last night. So I think that there's going to be maybe this hushed gasp as we kind of ante up our various stakes, and I think I'm going to thump down the giant gold nugget from my personal quarters on this roll.
Nice.
And see if I can use that to get advantage on the roll.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great.
Awesome. So this is going to be with vitality, and that's a +2 with advantage. So if this doesn't go well, I give up. All right, here we go. That is a 10.
10. Good. So let's see, Cruel's House Curse. On a hit, you can clear a condition and choose one from the list below. On a 10+, you get to choose 2 from the list below, on top of clearing a condition.
Okay. I think that what we'll do is obviously I'll clear the ensorcelled condition, and I think there will be some kind of breakthrough moment where I'm convinced, rightly or wrongly, that I know what to do about this thing, and with this maybe can lead into solve the mystery rule. I think the 2 that I'll suggest from the list are going to be to stumble on a clue and to gain resistance to the curse, so taking +1 of the success tier on my next quickening roll.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. I will also tell you, sort of as you're, this isn't a clue per se. This is just the information you find out, like in the general chatter of gossip as you're going around. The Cremorne Gardens is closed this morning because a body was found there last night. A woman was killed. So yeah, you will discover that anyway. As I said, it's not a clue; it's just information that you find. But yeah,
right.
But you are also free to detail a clue of your own, which can relate to that or to anything else that you wish.
Got it. Oh yeah, it says that I tell the keeper what the clue is.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe it can be something about the woman that kind of points toward what the creature wants, because that's the next question to answer.
Yeah. So the specific, I'll give you. Sorry, I'll again just before you sort of come with, I'll give you a little more information that you'll be able to get on her. It was a woman called. With me, I'll just check her name. Albertina Welk. She was a kind of socialite type. It's probably the best way of putting it. She was a frequent guest at Cremorne Gardens, particularly like dancing, drinking, generally getting on with stuff. Quite a few of the, she was regular enough that quite a few of the people you're speaking to here kind of knew her, at least, on nodding terms kind of thing.
Got it. Was she at the party last night?
Yes, she was. When you hear like her description, it does. It rings a bell. You don't think you spoke to her, but you think you might have seen her in the crowd, sort of thing.
Got it. I'm just trying to get a sense. I mean, it could be feasible that the creature is trying to, take people's voices or their beauty, and so they're attacking or luring people with beautiful voices or beautiful people to them. So, I mean, that could be a clue, perhaps. I don't know if canonically she could be a singer.
Yeah, that could certainly make sense.
We can maybe put that down, that Albertina was herself a maybe not professional, but a very locally famous sort of singer, very popular in kind of maybe the art scene or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, I'll put that down then for the clue. But above and beyond that, I don't know that there's anything else I need to do with this scene. I think that I would sort of have that. This is more of a Brindlewood Bay thing, but I'm thinking of Murder, She Wrote, that moment when Angela Lansbury puts the clues all together and you hear the whimsical music and she says, "Wait a minute, I think I've got it." Like, I imagine there's something like that, just a bit darker, for this game, where Trixie becomes quite convinced that she's onto something and she's going to grab the really minor winnings that she gets from betting the gold nugget, and she's going to take off and try to find Ardent and John.
Awesome. Brilliant, thank you. Yes, speaking of Ardent and John, Ardent, what was your next kind of plan for today?
Ardent is going to put on some somewhat more appropriate clothes for going outside, though he'll still be a bit disheveled. He's not completely in his right mind, and he'll go out looking for aniseed balls, but he's not like he's not, "Yes, I know, that's where we go." He's mostly just wandering around. He's still in a bit of a daze. So I'm not sure if I'm making a move or if I'm just, I don't want to push sensitivity all the time. It's kind of boring, especially now that it's even higher. But I want to, what he's trying to get aniseed balls, and he is kind of just wandering around to see if something. He's kind of seeing everything in a new light. So he's endlessly fascinated by what's going on around him.
Sure thing. So yeah, I think that in fact, maybe we'll find you. Maybe you'll actually bump into Trixie on Cheney Walk. We'll come back to that in a minute. Dr. Fenworth, how about yourself? Do you have any plans beyond the pianist for today?
Yes, I actually do. I think I should maybe try to figure out, because we spoke about this face cutting person, and I think I should go and try to figure out something about them. Maybe figure out why she's called Sally No Face. That might be interesting, because some people seem to have an idea about who she is and if it's a she or not, where that song comes from.
So yeah,
So
no, yeah, sorry, yeah. So just to reiterate. So the song is kind of an old song, really, an old sort of skipping rhyme. It says, "Poor old Sally trapped in a fire, her looks burned up without a trace. If you're lovely with fate most dire, she'll come and take your lovely face." So these murders are being referred to as the doing of Sally No Face because of the condition of them being found with no face.
yes,
So
but there might still be a connection, right?
Exactly. So yeah, that's it. It's like that. It may just be the name has come from the rhyme, but that doesn't certainly knowing the side of London that there may be more to that story than meets the eye, as it were.
And there might be somebody who thinks of themselves as a copycat, or being inspired by her, or even being taken over by spiritual energies. Who knows? But still asking around about this song, and who also has been interested in it, and seems like a good use of my time, because I am too wound up to stay at home now. After I have had all this coffee, I need to go out and wait. I can't sit around waiting for the pianist. Everything is ready for him when he comes. I have laudanum. This will be fine. This will be totally fine. And I don't really want to think about what I'm doing here. So I'm going out and find out stuff about a killer who takes body parts. Yes, that seems reasonable, doesn't it? It does.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So I think I think we'll go for the information move here. I'm assuming that you'll be going to. So all of the bodies so far have been found in Whitechapel. So I'm assuming that's where you'll be focusing your inquiries at the minute, or
yes. I will start out with the constabulary and try to figure out a way from there. What they say, what they tell me.
Sure thing. Yeah, that sounds good. So in fact, you will. If you're starting with the constabulary, you will be put into. You'll be informed that the investigating officer is Detective Inspector Pettigrew, and he is in fact at the station when you sort of get there, and he will kind of after a moment of communication, he'll come to see you. He's wearing like a spotless tweed coat. He's got a tidy little moustache. He's smoking a pipe, and he'll say, Mr. Dr. Fenworth, isn't it, I believe?
Yes, it is indeed.
Yes,
Inspector Pettigrew. I heard.
That's right. I know you've done some work for us before, and I hear you've had had a look at one of the most recent victim of this Whitechapel killer, the one they're calling the Sally No Face killer, Miss Yarborough. He's kind of glances down into his notebook as he says that.
Yes, that is who she was. Okay, what can you tell me about the circumstances of her death? And how did that moniker Sally No Face show up? Was it just a connection with the old folk song, or is there something more to be known about this?
as far as I'm aware, that's right. It was the press named it like they always do. They like to, well, you know, a good name sells a lot of newspapers. Dr. Fenworth, also they say. So that's I think who first put that name out there. But yes, Miss Yarborough, she was found dead in her tenement house, or in the hallway of her tenement house anyway. Well, I mean, you saw the body.
Well, then, who found her?
It was a neighbor of hers. He says with a slight hint of distaste in his voice. Lady by the name of Vera Hale. I'm not sure that she's the most reliable of witnesses. We didn't exactly see eye to eye.
Didn't you? Fascinating. I will speak to her.
Yeah, you do that, Doctor. I'm not sure. You'll get more sense out of her than I did, but by all means.
Thank you, Inspector, for your help.
Excellent. Cool. And we're just coming up to past now, so I think we'll take a quick break there, and then come back in about 5 minutes' time. Yeah, awesome. So I think we'll come back in. Trixie, you're kind of just about to make your way to find the others when Ardent comes sort of walking down the street towards you.
Casebury, I was just looking for you.
Oh, how fortunate. I don't quite recall what I was looking for, but if I can be of any assistance to you, then that's certainly as good as whatever I was doing before.
Are you all right? You seem a little bit off. For I kind of take a glance at a clock hanging in some kind of shop. 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I think I'm still recovering from last night, all the various events, and I had the strangest dream. I'm not sure what it means, but never mind. If there is anything I can do to help you, then I will do my very best.
Well, I needed to get you and Dr. Fenworth together. I think we might be onto something with this Cremorne Gardens case. I went down there earlier today, see if I could figure out anything about what's going on, especially after the events between you and me last night. And sounds like Albertina Welk was killed down by the river, if I remember correctly. Gardens are all closed up. People don't seem to know a whole lot about what's going on, but this leads me to believe we got something worse on our hands than some prankster.
Yes, that seems likely. But didn't you find a ring of keys? We should be able to procure access to the area if we should find that useful.
I pull them from my pocket. They're right here. don't leave home without him at this point. All I know is that this thing's coming to a head, and we can't afford to wait another night before this thing strikes again, whatever it is. So I don't know if John is off tackling that Sally case, whatever it is. It scares the hell out of me. I keep my nose out of it so far, but in any event, I got to get Fenworth with us, and sometime around the turn of dusk, we need to get a plan together about what we're going to do about this thing.
That does sound like an excellent plan of action. I suppose we need to try to locate this creature, if that is what it is.
Imagine it'd be down by the gardens. That seems to be where it lurks, somewhere by the riverside, I expect. Of course, that doesn't mean you're safe if you're not by the riverside. If last night was any indication, that thing's song is mighty alluring.
Yes. Perhaps instead of trying to find out where it lives, we should try to find out what it wants.
I've got a couple ideas floating around in my head myself, but I imagine that a couple of intelligent minds like your own and Fenworth's are in order for us to figure this thing out. I'm not I'll just say I'm not known for my reason.
Yeah, Ardent isn't too strong. That's not his long suit anymore either.
Out of character, I don't know that Trixie knows that.
Yeah.
Because your reason used to be 1, mine has always been 0, so I've always thought of you as pretty intelligent.
Yeah, mine is -1 now, so. But yes, I'm sure we can figure something out. Where do you want to start?
Well, if there's a way we can track down Fenworth, you have any idea where he is?
I believe he was going to talk to some constable or something.
Well, certainly willing to check that out. Well, additionally, wasn't he supposed to invite some kind of piano player over tonight?
Yes, the pianist from the exhibition. He seems to. I'm not sure for what his reasons are. He didn't seem to appreciate his playing that much, but going on about his hands. I don't know. I don't try to guess the good doctor's motivations. I'm sure he has a good reason for perhaps the pianist knows something about our host.
It's entirely possible. Tell you what, I say we get on back to Hargrave House. At least I'm going to, and I'll mix myself up a cocktail before this evening's festivities with the pianist. Maybe an old-fashioned. I always think better when I'm drinking.
You don't think we should have a look around the gardens? I mean, even if they're closed, we can still get in, right?
Tell you what, we'll split it down the middle. We'll check out the gardens, but I'm still going to be drinking.
Fair enough.
I pat the flask of whiskey on my hip and off we go.
Awesome. Well, we'll come back to that in a moment. So Dr. Fenworth, you will be able to find the tenement house that Clara was found in without too much trouble. it's lots of small sort of one-room flats essentially. Her flat is still unoccupied at this moment, and from the notes that D.I. Pettigrew gave you, is her neighbour Vera Hale lived basically across the corridor from her.
Well, then I will knock and question Miss Hale.
Sure thing. So
I can also roll for the clue if you want me to do that. First?
No, that's okay. We'll get into the scene with her in a second. First, however, I do have a paint the scene question to ask about the tenement house that you're in.
Nice.
This building was originally a charity project, now abandoned for some wealthy do-gooder. What faded remnants of their largesse do you see around you? So yeah, I will start with yourself, Dr. Fenworth, and then we'll go around.
I believe what faded remnant. Yeah, they planted an oak in front of the house. I mean, good old English oak, right? Just to remind people of the strong and blah, blah stuff. That oak is not doing well. There's not enough light, the fog and mist and stuff. It's not good for the oak. The leaves are most of the branches are dead. There are a few that still have leaves, but not a lot. And there are lots of stuff carved into that poor oak. P plus G, A as in whole, or some sort of epithet spelled rather poorly. Yeah, stuff like that.
Awesome, thank you very much. Yeah, and Ardent, how about yourself? What's another sign of this sort of faded glory that we see in the house?
Faded glory. I think there are. I think the walls are painted in some way, like there were some kind of murals or something, like scenes painted on the walls, but the paint is so faded that they're almost invisible. There's just traces here and there, and if you stand in the right place, you can see that there used to be something a majestic scene painted there, but now you can maybe sort of make out the tree and that's
awesome, thank you. And yeah, Trixie, how about yourself? What's another sign we see of the neglect this place has fallen into?
The person who originally constructed it, you said it was just like a wealthy individual who was doing it as a bit of a, what did you say, like a charity thing?
Yeah, that's right.
Got it. Maybe the person was highly religious, maybe even associated with, some order of, Catholic sisters or monks or something to that effect, and envisioned the thing to be kind of this great doing good for the poor sort of thing. And there's all these religious kind of like crosses and crucifixes and various statues of saints and so forth, kind of all over the place in various niches and nooks and things like that. And they used to be very, very opulent and pretty. And since the place has fallen into disrepair, they just look really creepy. And the whole thing has sort of this ruined Gothic cathedral feel to it, despite the fact that it's in the inner slums of London.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So Dr. Fenworth, as you knock at the door, there's a bit of a pause, then a sort of muffled call of "Come in, we'll be with you in a minute," and the door is opened by a lady. She is wearing a sort of velvet gown that looks to have been very hurriedly pulled on. She's got kind of makeup on that's clearly smudged, like it's been slept in, and like her hair as well looks like she's just kind of got out of bed as well. She there's just that smell of kind of gin on her breath as she opens the door. She says, "Oh, blimey, love, you're keen, aren't you? I don't usually start this early of a day, but well," she kind of looks her up and down. "You look like you've got the money for it, so."
I apologize for the inconvenience, my dear madam. I have come bearing questions, as it were. My name is Dr. John Fenworth, and I have a special interest in the case of that brutish murderer who did in the poor Miss Yarborough. And I've heard that you might have some information pertaining to that case.
Oh, yeah, horrible that were, horrible. Poor dear, she was just lying there, and she sort of kind of points sort of just past you. It was and her face all gone like that. It was horrible, I tells you. That's I don't suppose you'd mind buying me a spot of gin, would you, sir, just to settle my nerves a bit, as it were?
Of course not. Of course not. This is a gruesome thing, and I think we all need to fortify ourselves against such these iniquities of fate and fortune.
Yeah, and she'll sort of come with you down to there's kind of a just a sort of hole in the wall place selling gin that she'll kind of get a bottle, and I think at that point
I will allow myself to be shamelessly robbed by the person selling the gin.
Excellent. If you'd like to make me the information move, probably with presence, I think.
I can do that. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, and there we go. What do you roll? I think it just rolled one die. Yes, it just rolled one. I'll roll the other one as well. And that's better. I got an 11.
Awesome. So she'll be able to tell you a little bit more about the discovery of the body, though it's not really. None of what she's going to tell you sort of about that in particular is going to be kind of rising to the level of a clue, as it were. But basically, she says she came back kind of in the early hours of the morning, kind of at dawn, and found the body there. The body was wrapped up in like a clean sheet, though obviously stained sort of from where the face was, but other than that, sort of a clean sheet. Which obviously didn't see who left it there or anything like that. She says the only thing that was odd was Sally. She used to take him washing, and she'd had this request to go to this place uptown, and she'll give kind of a street that's in a a fairly kind of upscale area. And so it's odd. She wouldn't usually get called out for something like that. Usually a posh place like that, they just, you know, if they needed to contract out any washing, they just have one of the servants come down here and drop it off. I can't tell you the exact building, but I spoke to a couple of other people, and they said that there's this one house there that's always like lit up at night, but no one ever sees anyone come in or go in there. And yeah, as I said, she'll be able to give you kind of the street that it's on.
Cool. I will ask her if Miss Yarborough, Clara, wasn't it? Not Sally.
Yeah. Clara,
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Was she pretty?
I suppose she was in that sort of what's the word shall I use? You know, she looked like one of them, like one of them milkmaids, like you might see on a box of chocolate, something like that.
Wholesome.
Yeah, that's the word for it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That was very helpful. Please, kind sir, here's another shilling for the good lady's tab.
You're a gent, sir. If you need anything else, just come around and I'll see what I can do for you.
Thank you very much. You've done quite enough. And then I'll leave because I have to hurry home to meet my pianist and his amazing hands.
Awesome. Cool. So we will switch back over to Ardent and Trixie. I don't think I'm going to make you make any sort of roll to get in here. You have the keys, and no one's really going to make that much of an effort to dissuade you from coming in anyway. You will notice as you sort of come in, there are a couple of uniformed policemen sort of milling about. There is and you'll see there are a few people here. You know, some of the management and some of the staff are still here, sort of things. But yeah, that's kind of the scene that you will be presented with as you let yourselves into the gardens. Is there anything in specific either of you were aiming to like kind of investigate while you were here? Just quickly run down sort of roughly the stuff that's present in the garden. Is obviously you've got the dancing pavilion, the bowling saloon. There's a sort of banqueting hall, just lawns and flower beds and stuff. There's a hedge maze as well. Those are kind of some of the main things, and there's obviously all the kind of sideshow attractions, and so on and so forth. Obviously, most of the sideshow attractions aren't currently active, but are still present.
I think Ardent's vague idea is to visit the places where people have been attacked to see if there's something in common between them. If there's if you could imagine there was a certain type of person that would be in common between the various places, or if like, yeah, everyone here or here you'd be likely to find people who are drunk and they're there as well, or if yeah, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, sure thing.
I don't know if Trixie has different thoughts.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I think that if it comes down to it, we might say that one of the policemen who is here might be Constable Armstrong, the one who I owe money and who was harassing me at the bowling saloon. And so if it comes down to it, I might have to escape into the hedge maze just to get away from this guy if things go south. And I'll make a note of that to Ardent as soon as I see him. I'll be like, damn it, not him again. But I think for the time being, I'll try to stay with Ardent and avoid splitting us up if we can help it.
Absolutely. No, that's cool. So yeah, as you're starting to do a tour of the place, and you will spot a purple tent, which seems very familiar to you. There is a painted sign outside it, which says Greco, the second-sighted boy, on it, and the depiction of the boy on this sign is very much like the boy that you saw in your dreams.
Yeah, when Ardent sees that, I think he'll veer off towards the tent without really thinking about it or noticing himself, and definitely without saying anything to Trixie. He'll just suddenly start walking in that direction.
Ardent, are you onto something?
My dream. I think my dream told me go here.
Well, normally I wouldn't put too much stock in that, but under the circumstances, I say, looking about me and pulling my duster a little bit up over my face so that the constable can't see me, I'll follow your lead.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I'll be happy to. And he just sort of trails off as he approaches the tent.
Yeah, and as you approach the tent, there is a boy kind of sat outside. It's that kind of odd thing where he's like obviously like part in costume and part not. It's just got kind of a fairly, he's probably got some like kind of silky trousers and like big curly slippers on, but then just like a kind of a jumper on over the top. But his face is made up with this sort of again similar, just kind of like vaguely mystical face paint, and he has a jewel, or whether real or paste, set over his forehead. And he says, "Oh, hello! I didn't think we were having visitors today. A lady died, you know."
Sorry, I didn't catch the last part.
Oh, sorry. He said, "A lady died, you know."
Yes. Yes, you told me before. She was a dancer, right?
Yes, she was. Have we already said this?
I believe so. You told me to bring the aniseed balls.
Oh, yes, please. And he'll kind of hold out his hands.
And I imagine I've picked them up in a shop somewhere during the day without really thinking about it. Yes, here.
Yeah, and he'll grab the bag and put one in his mouth and start sucking.
Well, were you supposed to tell me something?
I I suppose I was, if you came here for me. And he kind of looks off into the distance for a moment. And I think I would like you to make me the information move here as well, but you can make this with sensitivity.
All right. I'll use my fancy dice cam since the dice roller hates me. Oh, with advantage? No, it was not with advantage. It was just with sensitivity, but that's see if we can show them. That's a 10 on the dice, so that's a 13.
Nice. So he will say, yes, I know what it is. I think it took a jewel. It took one of my jewels. I think it was it. I don't think it was one of the others, but it went missing. But it took a jewel from the dead lady as well. I don't know how I know, but it's true.
Is it collecting the jewels?
Maybe. That would make sense.
I suppose it would. Thank you. I think you have been most helpful.
There's one other thing. I've been having dreams recently, strange dreams. I always have strange dreams, I suppose. It's sort of what I do. But I dream I'm a big golden bird flying over the city, and I can see everything when I'm up there. And that one is your mastermind clue.
Ooh. Fancy. That sounds like a wonderful dream. You should hold on to that, I think.
Thank you.
And you know the name of the lady who was killed?
Whelk. Like the things you eat at the seaside.
Yes. Yes, quite. Well. Thank you. Yes. And then he turns and walks away.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to get done while you're here at the grounds, or do we want to move things back to Hargrave House?
That's fine with me. I'm just going to say that during that scene, I was kind of listening in the background, but I was really kind of keeping my eye out for the constable. And when all is said and done, I'll pop my head back in and say, Ardent, the two of you sounded like you were at Jenny's opium den the way you were talking.
I I haven't tried opium for quite some time. Maybe, yeah, maybe I should make a visit there.
Well, why not tonight?
Yes, perhaps.
We'll go together. It'll be a good time.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Welk. Welk was the name of a woman who was killed, presumably by the creature, and he took a jewel.
A jewel, huh?
Yes,
Well,
perhaps perhaps it likes shiny things.
between the three of us, I'm sure we've got some kind of jewels lying around we can lure this thing with.
Yes, that seems likely.
And I think with that,
I
all
may have just the thing actually. But let's return. We don't want to miss this recital.
Cool. So yeah, I think with that we will kind of gather everyone back together. So I'm going to assume we'll answer a question in a moment regarding the Creature of Cremorne Gardens. The other thing I wanted to check in on is with the pianist. To me, that feels maybe like something we might want to do at night. It feels more appropriate. We can do it before we go to the night phase if you would prefer, Dr. Fenworth, but it feels kind of a cover of darkness type situation. But
yeah, I agree, but I would like to go out to see what this monster of Cremorne Garden is as well. So if I can do both, sure.
Yeah, that sounds. I'm sure we can kind of work that in as a kind of what's it. So no worries. Cool. So yeah. I think what we'll probably do before we take our last break is if we'll answer our question, and then we'll take a quick break after that, and then come back with our night phase and see what happens. So the question that we have for the Creature of Cremorne Gardens is, well, if it's real, which it is, what does the creature want? Yeah, again, Trixie, I feel like you kind of were leading the charge on this one. So if you have kind of a point you'd like to start from, and then we can kind of tag other people in as you go.
I kind of have it narrowed down to two things. Either it's luring people in so that it can kind of steal their voice, kind of like it takes their breath, drowns them in the water, and adds their own voice to kind of its own singing so that its song gets more and more beautiful with all the passing centuries from all the people it's killed. That could be a thing. That doesn't account for the missing jewelry, though. I mean, I think you could also say that this thing is, I mean, sea creatures are kind of known for taking after shiny things, but I wonder if
it might just gather beauty to itself, like voices, songs, jewelry.
Sure.
Likes to adorn itself and stuff it likes.
Yeah, or I mean, going a bit pseudo-scientific here, crystals vibrate with at certain frequencies, so maybe the jewels capture the sound of the voice of the person who's been wearing them.
Yeah, I have something else. As much as I like this, but maybe this creature is a bit self-conscious almost, like it doesn't dare to show its face because it's not very pretty, and it smells like this cod liver oil stuff, which is really unattractive. So maybe that's why it's hiding in the river. And why it gathers things of beauty and the jewels, maybe to amplify the songs, so people won't notice the other things like glowing eyes and weird smell and stuff like that.
Right, like all you can ever even see of it is the glowing eyes. I like the idea that this thing has this unbelievably beautiful voice and also an unearthly hideous visage. I like the contrast there, so that could work.
Yeah, maybe
that's what's go ahead.
Maybe it's collecting the beautiful things it's collecting the voices and it's collecting the beautiful things so that it will be able to meet others without being
but to lure others. To lure others, like it did with you, Ardent.
Perhaps it's trying to lure people. Perhaps it's trying to fit in. Like if it has the beautiful jewels, then maybe people won't care about how ugly it is in other ways.
Yeah, I like that. I think we have a good theory here.
Yeah, I think that actually accounts for all the clues we haven't used yet.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree.
And this is at a +2, I think, so that gives us decent odds. Would either of you like to? I mean, I had such good luck the last time I rolled for this. I don't know. I'm happy to give it another shot, but if anyone else would like to.
Go ahead.
Okay, so 2d6 + 2. That is literally, I got a 1 and 3 the last time I rolled for this. Is there a way you can check the roll history on this? That's crazy. Yeah, that's a 5 again.
A 6, right?
It's a 6.
I'm sorry, a 6.
It's not very. It's still a miss.
Yeah.
For pity's sake.
So,
but I haven't marked a mask in this session, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you all wish to mark a mask, you may do so. That will upgrade it to a 7 to 9.
What happens if we miss this?
Basically your supposition will be incorrect. There will be some sort of reaction as a result, as usual for sort of a miss. But basically those clues all of the clues that you use to justify that will become unmarked again, so they can be used again in future. But in general, you'll need to kind of get something else to kind of to come up with a theory again.
So we would have to answer the question again.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm quite all right with marking a mask for this one myself, because I haven't used any. I don't think I used any this session. I did use one last session, but I'm looking at the amounts of masks that I have left and doing some mental math, and I think I can afford to burn one here. If
Yeah, I have plenty of masks of the past to use, so I can do that.
You also have a free mask on Sally No Face and the St. Petersburg Mirror, so you won't be able to use them for this role, but because it kind of has to be roughly related to the threat in question. But like you have a couple of those floating around as well for when you're working on other things too. So
okay, yeah, I think I'll spend a mask of the past.
Yeah, likewise. Unless, David, if you think that Pinkerton would be an interesting threat to insert at this juncture, if we're about to resolve this, I could do that one too.
By all means, if you're interested in bringing them in, then I'm certainly happy to play them.
I have no idea what that threat even is, so I don't know if it would be thematically appropriate at this stage of the game, but it's just an idea. Otherwise, I'll just go Mask of the Past.
Yeah, no, that said, by all means, feel free to if you would like to. I'm cool with it either way. Like I said, don't feel that you have to, but absolutely do so if you want.
Well, come to think of it, I won't be able to make it to the next session, I recall. So I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to introduce a Trixie specific threat
Sure
right
thing.
before I have to be out for the next session. So we'll just go past.
No worries, not a problem. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And how about yourself, Ardent? Which are you going for?
I'm going for the Mask of the Past.
Cool.
I've only marked one before, so
yeah, awesome. So yeah, we will. It will be a 7 to 9. So yes, you are. Your theory is correct. This thing is luring people to steal their voices, and you will be able to. You have worked. In fact, I think that is. I think that is it. The complication that you you come up with here, or that you come up against here, is that I think you will. I think that you will need to get someone else involved to lure this creature out. You will basically need a stalking horse to get this creature out.
Okay.
yeah, involving the pianist could solve both our problems, or solve a problem, create an opportunity.
No. I need the pianist for something else.
Yeah, but I was thinking, like out of character, you don't need the whole pianist. So
That's true, but what is left would probably not be very good. A good bait. So I don't think that's a very. I mean, we could use them as a bait first, and then, but really, I don't think. Maybe we could find somebody else. Maybe some of your. Hey, what about this Whistler guy? He seemed familiar with the scenery, and he has a gun. He can defend himself. So we wouldn't throw an innocent into the gristling mill, as it were. I mean, we are, but not a totally helpless, defenseless innocent. So
maybe this could be a way for Trixie to pay off her debt to the constable, let him get some of the glory.
Oh my goodness!
Get some of the glory, like using him as bait. That I like that.
I mean, we don't put it forward to him like that. It's just that we think we have a solution to this, but we wanted to give you the chance to be part of it.
Right.
I proper policeman who does that.
Yeah.
I'm willing to consider it. I think the only thing is I want to make sure that Trixie is not so much of a bad guy that she goes about just like killing innocents. So far she's kind of gone out of her way not to hurt people who are under mind control or who otherwise are blameless. And so I don't know that she would knowingly lure this guy to certain death. But if there's a way we can put it together so that she at least has some reasonable doubt about it.
Yeah, I will put it so the plan, such as it is, and we don't need to go into huge details on exactly what it is. It doesn't require that the person actually be killed. It just will put them in the line of fire, as it were. essentially the way I kind of picture it is you will need someone to actually fall under the influence of the siren song to basically trick the creature enough to get the drop on it, as it were, which obviously presumably would need to be someone that wasn't one of you, because you still need to be able to act, is the way I see it. So yeah, but it's not kind of it's not a guaranteed death sentence. So obviously that's very, very much a risk if things go badly.
Yeah, maybe not the constable then.
But we need to use someone as bait.
Whistler might not be a bad one, because he is he's kind of got access to the inside, sort of. I don't know that he's a formal servant of the mastermind, but he has connections to him, so he could prove a somewhat valuable ally if we can convince him that weird bad things are afoot, and he would do well to be kind of a spy or a source for us.
Yeah, that sounds like a good place to start. So we will take, as I said, we'll take a quick break now, again for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and do our dusk phase and go into the night. But yeah, I'll see you all back in a few minutes.
Fine.
Awesome. So yeah, so we hit our dusk phase. So the first thing that we have is to resolve any playbook moves that we need to do during the dusk phase. Trixie, we have your quickening move. I think that's still the only dusk move we have at the moment, though. If someone has picked one up that I haven't noticed, do let me know.
I think that's it. So I will go ahead and roll quickening, and I think that's with composure here. Yep, so that'll be at a +1. And see how it goes. That is a 9 total, and it gets kicked up by 1 because of the Cruel as the Harlot's curse. So I think that counts as a 10+.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. Which I think means that you roll with advantage on vitality this evening.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So next, we have a paint the scene question. And I think today's paint the scene question will be the dining room. You don't take meals together often, but tonight is an exception. What's on the menu? Ardent, I'm going to start with you, I think, if that's okay.
Yeah, this is the dining room in Hargrave House.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
What's on the menu? Is this at this particular occasion or in general? What sort of thing?
This particular evening, yeah.
This particular evening. I think we have boiled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, and I'm not sure what you'd have with hard-boiled eggs in this time period, but I imagine some sort of garnish or something.
Awesome, thank you. And Dr. Fenworth, what's another thing that you're eating this evening?
Oh, well, besides the main course, we will have a dessert that is called by the chef, we'll call it Savoiardi, which is Italian. The English name would be Lady Fingers or Amish Fingers.
Excellent. And Trixie, how about you? What's another thing that's on the menu tonight?
So we have dessert covered, and Anders, what was yours? I believe it was the what was it again?
hard-boiled eggs. I
Eggs,
think
okay.
maybe sliced and presented with some sort of with I don't know, dill, something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
or
sure.
I was thinking maybe something like deviled eggs or something like that.
Yeah.
Sure, sure. Would a whole roast of suckling pig be appropriate? Would that go with all this?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds
Probably.
good. Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, as you sit down to this meal before your evening's entertainment, so we would then have the what hunters are up to, but I think I already have a fairly good handle on that. Obviously, Dr. Fenworth, you want to obtain the hands of the pianist, and then the others of you wish to. Well, I mean, that's your focus for the night. The other two is on tracking down this creature, though. Obviously, we'll probably also have Dr. Fenworth in on that hunt, but those are kind of people's goals, as it were, this evening, if that's correct. Yeah, awesome. If anyone wants to resolve their mask of the past, now we can do so, or we can come back to that at the end of the session. If anyone wants to go ahead with that now, do feel free to do so. That's okay. We'll touch back on that towards the end. And lastly, but not least, we will bring in our unseen. And I think our unseen for this evening will be Madame Morvaine's boy tour, powdered princelings and delightful demigods, all agape for your amusement. Madame Morvaine's famous guidebook is a walking tour of all the best male sex workers in London. Ship Captain Jackson Flint Broadmoor has just come in for a 3-day porter call, the well-worn guidebook clutched beneath his arm. So, I'm going to parcel these out. I think we'll go for David for the first, Sabine for the second, and Anders for the third, and then we'll just do a collective paint the scene for the last one. So that is our dusk phase sorted. So now we will go into the night, and this will we will start off in with our, sorry, I keep losing my place, with our first unseen prompt. Yeah, David, our first stop on Madame Morvaine's boy tour is Prince Louis, powdered soft, covered in yards of satin and lace, invites Captain Broadmoor into his boudoir. What distinctly feminine touches do we see in Prince Louis's room?
Yeah, so I mean, this guy is 100% falling under the powdered princeling part of the of the advertisement. I think that this guy is has done himself up to look a bit like a almost kind of French Revolution era dandy. I mean, there's sort of quite a bit of powdered makeup and blush, and I think the big distinctly feminine touch we see in the room is this Lord kind of like vanity. That has all manner of mirrors and bits of cosmetic vials and glasses and so on placed within a number of drawers and scattered about, but still organized very neatly across the vanity mirror. And I imagine as well, there's also a very large canopy bed, but it's done up in a rather frilly, effeminate sort of style. It's not like the grand, master of the manor's canopy bed. It's more of a princess kind of appearance to it, almost fairy tale-esque. So it's quite femme.
Awesome, thank you very much. So the pianist has arrived and is tinkling away on the ivories, and I think we established that the salon, I think, was the room that last time we detailed had a piano in it, if I remember correctly. So that is presumably, well, certainly where the pianist and Dr. Fenworth are. I presume that the other two of you are also present for this little recital. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, the pianist will be playing, and probably to anyone with a slightly less exacting ear than Dr. Fenworth, they seem to be a fairly good performer, all told.
I think for my part, I am polishing off some kind of after-dinner cocktail. I am looking up exactly what that might be, but that's what I'll be doing, is kind of standing off on the side. And I think I'm getting a bit loosened up, and I'm perhaps a bit inappropriately beginning to sort of sing a bit along to the songs that he's playing, although they may not necessarily be intended for a vocal accompaniment.
Yes, pretty good at not wincing. Also, this sets the mood a bit and makes it a bit easier to get him to drink as well. And nothing maybe about doses, drinks with laudanum. Not too much, but enough that he will get fairly drowsy, and that I can then lead the poor young fellow who's obviously had a bit too much of the gin, and has been quite overcome that he needs to have a lie down, and I will take him to somewhere where he can rest.
Excellent. So I think I am going to ask you to make the night move here. And I think this will probably be, I feel like this could be, I could go for either composure or presence on this. I think kind of composure for keeping your nerve whilst doing this, or presence for kind of,
I think composure fits it best, because I've never done this before.
Excellent. So what are you afraid will happen if this goes wrong?
I am afraid that, well, on a very basic level, I'm afraid that it will mess the hands up in some way. And yes, that is not something I'm proud of, but that is my greatest fear here.
Yeah, I think it's worse than that. Not only will I think in the rush of sort of getting all this done, you will only realize when it's too late that the pianist is not quite as out of it as you might expect when you perform the operation, and he will kind of break free and escape to spread word of what happened.
Oh wow, that would be really bad. Yes, that would be that. Yes, no, that hopefully that won't happen. I will spend the laudanum I have so that he is well and truly sauced up, I think. It's an especially potent bottle of laudanum that I own, so I will roll with advantage. Let's see how that goes. Yes, it goes well-ish. It's a 9.
Sure thing. So I think that you will be able to get the pianist away and under the knife, and that side of it will go fine. But, and I think this is what the complication will be on a 7 to 9. It will take you longer. It will take you longer to do than you kind of had planned for, and like your absence will be very obvious to the other hunters.
And can I say why it will take so long? Because I'm really not. I mean, I'm cutting off this person's hands. This is his livelihood. I need to finish my child. I need to, but I'm not that cold-blooded yet. And I think I will take the condition riddled with guilt or something, riddled with guilt.
Yeah, that sounds good, yeah.
And I really try to give him my stumps for what it's worth. Yeah, but I'll do it. I'll have my hands and I'm riddled with guilt. Riddled, whatever.
Riddled, yeah.
Riddled. That feels appropriate. But as I take off the hands and bring them to the child that I have, that's when I remember Adam's hands on the piano when he gave a soft recital for just a few patrons, and the way his hands moved on these ivory keys, and he did not miss a note. He did not. It was perfect. And I will tell the child these are perfect for you. You will play better than that young man ever could have played. You will do so much better. You have to now, because I've done this for you. And this is a terrible thing. What I've done, this young man's life is basically, I've taken it from him for you. Do you understand me? I'm sorry to put this on you, but you have to be perfect. You have to be.
Excellent, thank you. So I guess to Trixie and Ardent, you will notice, as I said, Dr. Fenworth seems to have been gone for some time. Do you want to wait around for the good doctor, or will you proceed with your plan? And just for clarity, obviously, Dr. Fenworth, you will be able to kind of catch up and participate in the evening's events, but whether the two of you will go on alone or wait around a bit longer for the doctor.
I kind of like, out of character, the idea of Trixie impatiently pacing about, sort of half drunk and with her nerves sort of very high because she has the vitality advantage, and then John shows up at a dramatically appropriate or dramatically inopportune time. But that's just my take on it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. And yeah, I think, Trixie, I will ask you to take the condition. We'll just call it tipsy, I think, for now, if that's okay.
Sure.
Awesome. So I think we will visit our next port of call for good captain, which is Anthony the Adonis, or Adonis, whose body is rubbed with golden powder. How do we know Anthony is dying of consumption? And that one is for you, Sabine.
I am muted. That is not helpful. Well, Anthony he presents a good front, right? You can't see this really. He doesn't reveal how desiccated his body is because he wears these golden laced frilly shirts and his body is painted in gold and the shadows aren't really noticeable all that much and the captain will not notice much. But Anthony, there's a moment when Anthony has to go behind a caravan, ostensibly to fetch something, and then he will just cough and like really wrecking cough. He tries to hide it. He really tries to bite down hard on it. But when he's finished, he'll look at his hands. He didn't use a handkerchief. He didn't have one. His hands are covered in these flecks of blood and sputum. It's really, he really tries to shake it off in some way, but he'll just have to hide them now. But the captain doesn't notice that the hands are not what he's here for anyway.
Lovely, thank you. Awesome. So yeah, and I think we'll cut to arriving outside Cremorne Gardens and Cheney Walk. I think we'll cut into the scene where you are approaching Whistler. But I just wanted to check in, sort of as we're framing this, is sort of the plan just to literally go up to Whistler and kind of lay out the situation to him and sort of ask for his help, or are you taking a more sneaky approach to this? And no, I think Dr. Fenworth will be there because I think in the end they waited for Dr. Fenworth. So yeah.
For my part, I'm inclined to just be very upfront and straightforward with him. I respect him, and I don't lie to people I respect most of the time.
Cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought was the case. So yeah, I think we just cut to Whistler. He's I think probably just because I think, you know, again, the sort of places he's answered the door, and I think maybe this conversation is happening out on the sort of steps to the front door, so under the gas lamp above. And it says, nice to see you again so soon, Trixie. What brings you back to my little corner of England?
I think I'll go straight for the scrimshaw that he showed me, and I'll hold it up and say, really quite lacking in inhibition, you ever wanted to catch one of these before?
And I think I will we'll get the role there, I think, to get him on side. So I think that this will be the night move, probably with presence for persuading him. Obviously, if you wish to mark that piece of scrimshaw, you may do so to get advantage, though you don't have to.
Well, I don't have it in my personal quarters technically.
Oh, did I? I thought no. Feel free to have it. Sorry, I thought I'd said that last time. So that's not a problem.
So that can be added as a trinket in my personal quarters?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, lovely.
Absolutely,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, I might not have made that clear last time, but yeah, no, absolutely. That's
sure. I'll go ahead and mark that then. And I think this is just going to be rolled. No, it is at a +1. Okay. So 3d6 advantage +1.
Oh,
good
sorry,
thing
I
with the
should
plus
say,
one.
what are you afraid will happen if this
Oh,
goes badly?
I was afraid that he would kind of rush off and either intentionally or unintentionally inform some agent of the mastermind that we're up to this, and then we would have some reaction from them as a result.
Yeah, I think what's worse than that is that that his involvement in this and his involvement with the mastermind is that Whistler actually has the power to control these sirens.
I can't say no to that. Let's go ahead. And that was a 7 that I got.
7, sure thing.
Yep.
I'll say. So you need my help to catch this thing. It'd certainly be an experience and a half. There's no doubt about that. Seeing a creature of this nature. I'll do it though. If I heard it was supposedly killed at Albertina last night, and she was a good sort, and I can't let this go on. So sure, I'll do whatever you need of me. Just try and keep me in one piece. Yeah.
Of course, you'll be justly compensated. You don't need to worry about that.
And the complication here is that Whistler is when the sort of plan goes down, Whistler is fully going to fall under the thrall of the creature, and he will be in very real peril if you're not able to act quickly enough to save him.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Awesome. I think, yeah, no, I think we'll get the next unseen question, and then I'll just ask you to kind of frame up what you think it looks like as you are preparing this sort of trap, as it were, for the creature, and then we'll kick off from there. So, Anders, this one is for you. Gianni, an Italian temple, olive-skinned, breathtaking. How do we know Gianni is having the time of his life?
I think he's very flirty. He laughs a lot, and he's generally has a very happy and positive demeanor. I'm a bit uncomfortable with this, actually. Painting prostitution as a positive experience is a bit iffy, I think.
No, that's
so
fine.
let's excard it if you're uncomfortable. I think that's a fair point you're making.
No worries. So we will come in. How do your preparations for this trap look? What do you think the setup you're going for here is?
My thinking is that historically, this thing has struck people that are semi-isolated. I think at the very worst, it attacked maybe a couple that was strolling about by themselves. So it might be good to put Whistler and maybe one more of us out as bait, for lack of a better word. I'm inclined to ask Ardent or John to be Whistler's companion, so I can hide behind a tree with a gun or something goofy like that. But that's just kind of my skeletal foundation of the plan.
I would volunteer to do this. I have a sword and a stick that might help in a pinch.
Yeah.
Also, and this is not what John says out loud, that seems like a good way to kind of assuage his guilt a little if he tries to protect the other guy that we're throwing to the wolves. So, yay. Not a bad person, right? Not a bad person.
Yeah, and I think Ardent is basically a lookout or something, trying to also staying hidden, trying to spot the creature as it approaches.
Can you use your familiar?
Oh, yeah. Good point. Yes, absolutely, I can do that. Since she is, I think it's when I use magic. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's a very good point actually. I think what Ardent is doing is that he has somewhere in an out of the way place, he has set up a little ritual circle or something. He's still in the gardens, but he's secluded a bit, and he is inspired by the dream the boy had. He has sent Gretel up to scout from above while he is inhabiting her senses. So he is seeing what she sees.
Awesome. So I think what we will do is we will kick off with Anders, if you want to. I think this will either be a night move with sensitivity, or if you think that one of your specific rituals applies here, you can likewise do that. But I think I want a night move to kind of for you kind of seeking out and tracking the creature otherwise.
Yeah, I think the night move is good for this. This is more fictional positioning than an actual ritual. And I rolled 5 on the dice. So that's an 8, I think.
Sure thing. So I think I think that you will be able.
Oh, sorry, I had to say what I was afraid of.
Yeah, no, that's okay. As the roll's on the table now, it's fine. So I think that what this will be is you are able to kind of spot the creature out sort of moving underneath the water. I think Gretel can just make out the faint glow of its eyes beneath the surface of the water as it comes towards the shore. But I think that you will it will actually, I think I'm going to change. Well, not change that slightly. I think I'm actually going to go for a slightly different tack. I think I'm going to ask you to mark the condition indebted to the Thames. I think that you, as this sort of as you're kind of reaching out with your senses over the Thames, you get the feeling that while this creature may not exactly be acting on the orders of the river spirit, the river spirit does kind of consider this creature to belong to them. Awesome. But yeah, you are able to give the others advance warning of the creature's approach, so that you are both prepared for it as it comes out. And I think as the creature comes forward, it starts to emerge from the water, it will begin to sing its song, and you can see immediately kind of Whistler's eyes glaze over. He will begin walking towards the shore, unless he is stopped. Dr. Fenworth, I think you will feel the pull of the song on you, though you will be able to make efforts to resist it. But what I'm interested...
I want to resist it. I want to go to it and stab it with my sword.
Sure thing. That's fair. So I think we'll go for the night move on that. Again, I think this is probably going to be composure at this point. Actually, no, I'll say... Yeah, no, actually, I do. I think this probably is more composure. It's more calculated at this stage than anything. So
yes, it's definitely more composure that I need, because I mean, I am very vulnerable to music usually, but this is not perfect enough.
And what is the what are you afraid will happen if this goes wrong?
What am I afraid will happen if this goes wrong? I think that I will lose this fellow that we have enticed into our service, right? He will be lost, and it will be my fault.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it will be worse than that. Not only will Whistler go beneath the waters, but the creature will be able to escape as well. If we'd like to make that move.
Okay. Go here. Composure, right?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wow.
No, I was going to say I could see riddled with guilt giving disadvantage, but in many ways, I think having most beloved in this situation would actually give you advantage almost, because the creature is kind of fixated on you. It's a 5 anyway. So
I have to put on. I know I have to listen to you do the thing, and then I can put on a mask.
Indeed.
Oh, it's two of them, but yeah.
So
fine.
I think that you hear the song sweeping over you and Whistler both. The both of you will start walking towards the creature. You will see Whistler stepping out into the water, and you kind of try to draw your sword cane but it feels kind of heavy in your hand, and it just falls out, and you drop down to your knees as the creature just looks at you with its glowing eyes, and kind of it just puts a hand up almost in kind of a salute as it slips beneath the water as well.
No, it doesn't. I'm afraid it doesn't. I will put on a mask of a. Yes, I'll put on more masks of the past. Why not? And then I will, as I puts up the hand, I will see that on my own hand I still have a fleck of blood that I didn't notice, because cutting off hands is pretty bloody business. And that will propel me, because I can't lose this other person. I can't just fail like that. That's not who I am.
Yeah. So
and I will step towards it with a sword and cut off its hand, because that's what I'm good for, right? And yell it and tell it, not very loudly but quietly. Whistler might hear it. He's close enough. I say, your song will never be as perfect as his. It's going to be.
Excellent. Yeah. And I think that because you went for the creature rather than for Whistler, I think Whistler will have still walked out into the waters, and is again sort of like feet sucking into the mud of the Thames as he's dragged in. And Trixie, this is becoming a perhaps a common feature of your time here, but you will have an opportunity if you wish to rescue Whistler from the river.
Time to pull another one out. If I may just add an interesting kind of visual detail, I'd like to imagine the creature as, even if you can't see its full hideous visage in the darkness, I like to imagine that there is sort of a constant glinting and reflecting and flickering off of it, because it has bejeweled itself with all manner of precious metals and things that it has stolen off its victims over the years. They're not worn appropriately. They're kind of crudely hooked into pieces of it. But I kind of like that idea, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
But yes, no, I mean, I think that I will sort of see what's going on. And I think there's a part of me that will just go, Fenworth, what the hell are you doing? But I'll just take off after Whistler, having seen that Fenworth has got this handled.
Excellent. And I think, once more, I will ask for one last night move from you. Again, with that vitality, this will be absolutely.
And I think the thing I'm afraid of is that we'll lose Whistler to the creature. Whether or not the creature is finished off, I think Whistler is going to be a goner if this doesn't go through.
Yeah, and I think it's worse than that. I think we will see if this goes badly. The creature's blood in the water will seep into Whistler as he drowns, and it will slowly start forming a pearl inside his corpse.
Interesting. Okay, we're rolling with advantage at a +2. That is a 13.
13. Perfect. So yeah, describe how this looks as you leap to Whistler's rescue.
I think that I had my gun drawn ready to attack the creature, and then John steps in with the is it a sword?
It's a sword cane. It's like a rapier or something.
Right, the sword cane. And I kind of realized that the creature has been stabbed, and John's taking after it. And so I think I will almost drop my gun, because I can't get it submerged in water. I think I'll drop it on the riverside and take off shouting Whistler, and there's this moment of vulnerability as I see that I no longer am well composed and the plan is going the way I thought it would. Now I'm just desperately trying to save this guy because I quite like him, really. And so there's this kind of bit of humanity as I run intently and deliberately and purposefully, but also fearfully into the river, water splashing all over my duster and all the other fineries that I've adorned myself with, and with cunning, almost fish-like determination, I'm just going to move remarkably alarmingly quickly towards him and make an effort to pull him out just as I did Ardent last night.
Excellent. You will, Whistler will kind of cough and splutter a bit and shake his head and says, well, if that wasn't the damnedest thing, thanks, Trixie. You certainly did have my back there. Right? Much appreciated as you sort of wring some of the water out of him. Well, I think my first port of call will be having a nice hot bath, but if you ever need anything, feel free to call. This sure was something.
I think my features have softened out of fear, but now that I see that he has come out of it, they'll harden back into my normal rugged exterior. That sounds like a fine way to end the evening. You take care, all right?
And I think that is where we will leave things for tonight. We will go into, well, we'll go into our dawn phase, but that is where we will move on. So, form the following steps. We collect rewards if a threat was resolved. It was, and the rewards are available to you. I think most of these are very straightforward for this one. They are, most of these are just phrased in the way is the sort of the common thing, which is you get to add a memento from the investigation to your personal quarters. You ask another hunter. Basically, you ask another hunter what memento you have kept from this adventure, and add it to your personal quarters. So that's the basic reward that everyone. There are 4 instances of that, so everyone can take one of those. There is one. Anders will have one other option available to you, which is if you wish, you can basically consult with Greco, the two-sighted boy, second-sighted boy, I should say. Sorry. As basically an ongoing side character through your dreams, if you wish. That particular reward is only available to a hunter with the cosmic passage marked. So only Ardent is currently capable of taking that one. I guess with that said, Anders, are you interested in taking that ongoing relationship with Greco, or would you rather just take a memento?
Oh no, absolutely.
Cool.
Do I make a note of that?
Yeah, that's right. I think I always forget where this is. I think
there is a note field at the very bottom.
Yeah. Oh no, that's it. Sorry, it's in the threats on the threats tab itself. I think there is a down at the very bottom. There is a space for rewards there, so you can make a note. But
okay.
if you want to make a note on your sheet as well, just as a reminder, then you can do so. It's obviously easier for the other ones where it's just adding something to the personal quarters because that gets added. I will come around to Sabine next. Who do you want to name a memento for you?
Has anybody got an idea before I point a finger?
I have an idea, but it could go equally well, I think, for either character.
I would point to you.
I was thinking rather than a sample of cod liver oil, it's a sample of siren liver oil with all manner of strange properties.
Nice, very interesting. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I can definitely see some bits of the creature ending up in jars in Dr. Fenworth's office. David, if you want to nominate someone to name a memento for you.
I think I have to choose Anders, or otherwise he's going to be having to choose himself or something like that. But we'll go clockwise around the table, and I'll just say Anders.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we could do the key ring, but it's kind of specific. I don't know how useful that would be. So maybe one of the crystals. That could be interesting. Recover one of the crystals from that Welk, the crystal that Welk lost was taken from Welk.
That's cool. Awesome. Actually, no, and that's a good point. Actually, Trixie also had like however you want to phrase it, but like a favor from Whistler or something into your personal quarters as well.
Ooh, yeah,
that's probably the. I mean, he's almost certainly going to show up again as a side character, but you can add that in as a thing as well that could come up, because I think that's from the 13 plus you got there. That was kind of what I was aiming for anyway. Awesome.
Yeah, that's better.
So or Whistler's regard or something like that, but yeah, cool. So we've done our rewards. We will answer our dawn questions. Everyone answered the question, so everyone mark mark that off for 1 XP. Everyone resolved a threat, so again, mark that one off, 1 XP. Everyone can mark 1 for experiencing an echo in the night. We will go with Trixie. Did you encourage a fellow hunter to let loose for a change?
I wanted to play this out a little bit further, but I did when Ardent said, "Oh, I've never done opium," I said, "Well, why not tonight?" And I was gonna see if we had more time, I would have even had a scene where I say, "Come along," and we actually play it out there.
No, that's absolutely and that's absolutely cool. I think that fits within the intent of that. Did you use violence to solve a problem?
I didn't personally use the violence. It was John. So
I still think that's close enough. I mean, you were prepared to do violence. You certainly weren't going in there with the intent of talking to the creature and seeing what it wanted. Put it that way.
Sure.
It was the impression I got. So I think that's fair.
Okay.
The fact that you didn't resort to violence, that you didn't actually pull the trigger, was just down to circumstance. So. I think that's absolutely fair.
That works for me.
Yeah, so Dr. Fenworth, did you have a conversation with the child while no one was looking?
Definitely.
And did you secretly engage in romantic or emotional behavior at odds with your aloof logical exterior?
When I was talking to my child, I was very emotional.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. I think that is, I think as well, the guilt at the hand theft is also kind of you're not maybe quite as cold as you may appear, but that's sort of
no, I'm not.
Excellent. So Ardent, did you have a face-to-face encounter with a dark entity?
I don't think so.
I think that the creature was close enough, to be honest. You were present for it. That it was, you were there when it was there. So I think And did you perform a ritual?
Yeah, I guess I did.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. Awesome. Cool. And no worries, Sabine. Do feel free to head off. That is our dawn phase complete.
I have to do 2 Janus masks, but I'll do them next time.
We can pick
right
those up. We can pick those all up next time. That's fine.
I have all the stars you want, but I really need to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No, thank you for sticking around as long as you did.
Bye.
And I'll stop our recording. So yeah, see you all later. Take care.
Take care, folks.